Hello everyone. So we are extremely happy after Isabelle, Frédéric, and Maya to speak with Octave. As Maya said, Octave is a great entrepreneur. We've got lots of admiration about you, Octave, and I've got just a few questions because we have limited amount of time, but enough time, I think, to convey your passion and also your vision. So very briefly for the few who do not know you, Octave, you were born in 1975 in Nowa Roda, Poland, and you came to France and you followed some studies at ICAM Lille in 1999, and you founded OVHcloud with your family. You have now 3 children, and you play a big role on the sovereign digital ecosystem via OVHcloud, which is a cloud provider, but also with Shadow, a cloud gaming, you rescued in 2021, and Quartz, a French search engine backed by Symphonium in 2023. So that's very interesting. And as everyone is speaking about AI these days, we wanted to, the first question would be about how you would describe the relationship between AI and cloud computing today, and to what extent, what are the relationship between the two?
Yeah, you know, at the beginning, just AI was seen as the extension, additional product in cloud. So you have VMs, you have databases, you have now AI with the endpoints, LLM, etc. So usually, to train the models, you use cloud to have all the resources and to build the models and then to inference that. It's really changing right now that you see that all this AI, it's 2 things. First, it has to be integrated in the companies, in the customers. And it's just having GPUs and the LLM, it's not enough. The technology is really powerful, but you have to integrate that in the different processes of the companies, of the enterprises. And this part, it's really now, it's ongoing in the companies. And there was another part that, and you see that for the last 3-4 months, that because of AI and the powerful of AI, you have unlimited access to the technology that can write or rewrite all the software. And that's changed a lot of things, because it gives you ability to develop exactly what you need and to integrate in the companies. So the developing software, developing the products, it's not really complex anymore. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It doesn't need very big teams. So a lot of things are possible now that was not even 6 months ago. That is totally new, and that changed a lot of things. This is why we see a lot of stocks, you know, on the Nasdaq moving on the SaaS companies, because everybody is just saying, what will the customers buy tomorrow? Will they still buy the SaaS? Will they still buy the resources? Will they still buy just tokens? And then, where is the value? And who has the value? And how this value will be charged, how much will it will cost? And this is where comes sovereignty. Who has the access to the technologies? Who has these technologies?
Yeah, and we've seen what you just described last week with the last Anthropic's announcements, and many people predicted a SaaS apocalypse, and you know the stock plunged of many companies in the software industry. So we are speaking now about sovereignty. As we see, the geopolitical context is super strange these days. I remember we talking together a few years ago. You told me I spent a few months in Canada, a few months in the US. Do you see the US still as an ally? And to what extent is digital sovereignty important these days, and how can you build it?
I think now the sovereignty topic, it's clear. It's really transparent where is the issue? You see that if a technology is owned by a country, a company, something can be cut, changed, blocked. Even with VMware experience, Broadcom was VMware, changes all the prices, all the business models. That's changed a lot of things in the company. So all this access to the technologies and the stability of the prices, stability of the quality over the years, and the improvement of the product, it's what we started to call now really see the sovereignty. And there was, from my perspective, there was three kinds of sovereignty. The sovereignty of data. This is what we had 10 years ago, something like that, 10, 15 years ago. I take technology from US, for example, and I run that in my data centers, okay? This is what we call this data sovereignty. Now we talk about the sovereignty, technologic sovereignty. Who is developing the technology? So this is where we are today. And also, in OVH, and also there was the operational sovereignty. Customer has to have an ability to choose where this cloud, where this data, they are. It can be totally at edge. It can be in the big data centers. It can be in the warehouses, shops, wherever the customers he wants. So this free kind of the sovereignty, it's really key to have that from the European perspective, because if you don't have that, you don't, as the politics, you don't control the economy. Entire economy is now using cloud data. It goes to the data centers. If you don't control the cloud, if you don't control the laws that impact the cloud, you don't control economy. You cannot just choose a path and choose the strategy for the economy.
And that lack of control can increase with the agentic AI, right? If you give agents the possibility to take some decisions for you, if the agentic AI is only made by the US and China, so we won't have the possibility to take any more decisions. So my question was, do you think France can act alone, or is it only Europe to the European level? You just mentioned Europe.
It's a really interesting question, because usually when you think about the technology, you think about the competition, okay? In the US, you have the competition. Even it's a little bit weird about how this competition is working, because it's...
what do you mean, only a few actors, right?
Only just, yeah, those few actors, but they're investing each other.
Yes.
It's just a strange way, but it's still competition, okay? In China, you have competition. In Europe, it seems that people said that it's so important investment that we will just have one guy that will answer all the questions. And I don't think it's the answer. I think the competition is good. Competition allows to improve the products and to go after the real needs of the customers and the right price. And this is also what we need in Europe. So we will have this competition going from US to Europe, from China to Europe, but also in Europe, internally. I think we will have also the competition on the AI, and this is what we need.
But what do you, in every market, can we imagine OVHcloud one day launching an LLM, or the battle is on another market?
The question for us is more that can we survive in the next 10, 20 years without having this technology, internal technology? And the answer is no. Okay, so you need to have this kind of technology. So a lot of countries understood that also. And this is why you have this very high demand of the GPUs, because this is the sovereignty. This is, I want to be able to build my technology. I want to be able to use that. I don't want to have the control. I don't want to have the blocks, the blockers. I don't want that. I'm just free. And the freedom of choice, it's freedom of movement, of actions. It's really important when you invest so much money in this. You are in this economic ecosystem, and this is where we are. We are making 1 billion more revenue. We make 2 billion soon. We lot of agencies, lot of customers use us. We need this kind of technology also.
Mhm. What would you say before coming back to sovereignty? What is key in AI of tomorrow? You know, we mentioned LLMs. Is it chips? Is it the compute?
So what we don't have here in Europe, it's we don't have the B2C market. Okay, you have in Europe, in US, you have the B2C market. You have cloud. Okay, you can subscribe for $20. Okay, you have a ChatGPT. You can subscribe for $20 more.
We have Le Chat, right? But it's not enough actors.
European.
Yeah.
What is the European success in the B2C, except Spotify? You don't have a lot. And this is what we are not able to create, the B2C market. We have the B2B players that goes after the companies, after one country, another country, but having one website that it works for every country, every languages, for everybody, and it's just big success, you don't have a lot of the examples of the what we could create in the last years. So this is for me the biggest challenge in the next years, to be able to develop this kind of product and have a success in all countries in Europe, and to be number one, number two, number three in all countries. And this is what it's really blocked European companies to succeed in Europe.
So I just mentioned Mistral, but we also have H or Probable, which is fighting, but they are still too small, right? But you could do that with Shadow or Quant, you think?
We'll see.
Okay. Tell us about, you said my aim is to survive, to be able to continue growing in the next 10 or 20 years. What could look like OVH in 10 years from now?
It's exactly the question that I ask myself, because you know, I've been doing that for 27 years now, and I'm still excited every morning to see how fast it's all evolving. And the projection that I do, it's really 10, 20 years. So we know that we have to grow, have to be bigger. And in the next 5 years, what we will do is we want to be in every European country. And of course, we already we have the teams in Germany, Poland, Spain, Portugal, Italy, UK, Ireland. We have a lot of them. We have the data center, etc. But now it's going to another step. And the step is really to be known by the customers that they are the B2C.
Okay. To have this B2C brand, right?
B2C, looking for the 100 million users, millions customers. This is the target that we have, internal target, to go after this market, to be known as the digital solution for all European customers. This is my ambition for the next 5 years.
And we'll see if it's through OVH, Quant,
We'll
Shadow. But a very last question about, you are very vocal with the Health Data Hub and the data that went to Microsoft a few years ago, saying we could play this role. So do you think, because the game has changed, do you think OVH could have this data, this strategic health data?
So what is really interesting with this story is that the way that was done, this HDH deal in the beginning, it was exactly the way that the cloud providers in US, they were developed. It was usually a lot of products 10 years ago didn't exist. And because of this kind of the work with the cloud providers they developed the product. And it was the case of the HDH, but it was also the case in Azure and AWS, working with the agencies, local American agencies. This kind of work we didn't have in Europe. And this is also why we are late in Europe, because people, instead of saying, I want to help European cloud provider to build the right products, I will help, because it doesn't exist, I will help American cloud provider. And that's changed a lot of things. It's really the way of thinking, trusting the ecosystem and to building the ecosystem. So all this money was spent to build, to help American cloud providers. Now we will see, we built the products last years, and we'll see what will happen in the next months.
So today we have the talent, we have the product, you have the vision, so you just need trust, right?
Now his question is really, I invested a lot of money 10 years ago in the data centers. So I built 250 megawatts of the data centers 10 years ago for nothing. Now it costs a lot of money. Okay, a lot of people, they're building for a lot of money.
Well done.
5 years ago, I started to develop additional technologies, still ahead 5-10 years. And now his question is just going after the market and still investing into building what we need here in Europe, like the cloud provider. Not only, I hope that we will be few in Europe to have the alternatives for the American guys, but I hope that we will be the bigger.
Thank you so much, Octave Klaba from
Thank you,
OVH. Thank you.